All right, what is going on? Welcome to the Risen Fallen Podcast. I am your host, Mark Hendrickson, and if you're brand new to this show, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you're not new to this show, then thank you very much for coming back and tuning in again. Like I said, if you're not familiar with this show, then what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health and self-development, how to get your life moving in the right direction. If you're not feeling good about where you are right now, at least having the confidence, knowing that you're moving one step closer every single day. And in that regards, I hope you guys are doing well. Did anyone else just blink in January and all of a sudden it's fucking December? This whole year just completely flew by. And, one of my, a customer of mine was recently telling me about that, how every single year, a year goes by faster. And I don't know if that's just because of actual relativity, because say you're alive for 10 years and then a year goes by, that's 10% of your life. That feels so significant. And then, if you're 20 or 30, say you're 50, for example, a year goes by, that's 2% of your life, right? I think. And so it's that seems like a lot less time relatively. So maybe that is actually just it. Maybe I just cracked the code on why every single year time seems to go by faster, because maybe it's just relative. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody or if I'm just rambling on again, but on that note, happy Monday. It is Monday, the 16th of December. We are trudging through December here. Like I said, I feel like literally every time I blink, it's a new day. It's just been so fast-paced recently, very busy, but very blessed and very grateful. This past weekend, I'm pre-recording this episode, but so for me tomorrow, but for you 2 days ago, there's going to be a Christmas party I get to attend, which is the second Christmas party of the month. I missed one, and I've attended one, and now I'm going to go do a second one, and we're going to see how it goes. I'm pretty stoked for it. I don't know how you guys are, but I feel like every single year December comes around, and no matter how much I tell myself I'm going to be ready for the holidays, I'm going to be ready for Christmas, every single year I feel I just feel not ready. I feel unprepared, not just hey, I'm not ready to there's the whole gifts thing, there's the whole time thing of how many people you're going to see and when you're going to see them. There's the whole, it just feels like December especially, even though it has 31 days, it feels like the shortest month to me. But, I guess December really is the time when people start to tell themselves hey, you start to think about your New Year's resolutions, and you're okay, after all these Christmas parties, after these New Year's parties, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, or, whatever it is. Come December, a lot of people are starting to set goals. They're starting to set those infamous or famous New Year's resolutions, infamous for you if you set the same one every year and don't get closer to it, which I gotta say, I've been a part of that group. And then there's if maybe you're famous for it, or maybe you're not. Maybe you have a positive feeling towards New Year's resolutions, and you're yeah, actually, this is the time when I usually set my goals, and life seems to improve. Those are kind of the two camps. Or maybe you're just kind of like me, and you kind of just feel well, why the fuck am I waiting for, January 1st or December 31st to think about this goal, to start acting towards this goal, to start thinking, planning out how to start doing these things. And it really does just come down and boils down to kind of, a principle that I guess supersedes New Year's resolutions, in that, the idea, I've talked about it before on the podcast, but the idea of like the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. And so I know that like a lot of us, we start to set goals in December because we start to think, okay, it's a new year, new me. New year, new me, baby. New year, new me. That's what we tell ourselves every single year, time and time and time again. Every single December. It's new year, new me. But after the Christmas parties, after the New Year's parties, after whatever else you've got going on in the new year, and then after that, it'll be Easter. And then after that, it'll be this person's birthday, that person's birthday. It'll be, Thanksgiving's right around the corner. And then, it's just kind of a rinse and repeat every single year. We say this year, new me. But after this, after that, I'm going to do this. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe some people are like, up until my vacation, I'm going to be fucking killing it. And then once I'm on vacation, I'm going to let loose, crush it. And then they get home from vacation and they're like, maybe I bring a little bit home with me, maybe I'll bring a little bit of that vacation home with me. And then they start, day drinking at home, they start doing, it starts to get the ball rolling of like, oh yeah, I'm just going to like crush it and work hard until X, Y, and Z, or, I have to wait until X, Y, and Z to start crushing it. There's always like these weird time constraints. And in reality, one of the things that I've had to come to terms with in the last few years, just through doing 75 hard or just trying to follow just a typical, like a nutrition plan for myself and was something I set for myself, or, start to cut out certain behaviors in your life. And people that have quit drinking or quit doing drugs will relate to this a lot, because it's like, there's always going to be a thing that's telling you in the back of your head, like, oh, well, fuck, it's so-and-so's birthday, so I'm just going to wait until after that because I know I'm going to mess up my diet then. I know I'm going to, spend a little bit of money then. So after this thing, I'm going to start saving money. After this thing, I'm going to start, cleaning up my nutrition. After this thing, I'm going to start to set boundaries with my loved one or with my parents or with, whatever it could be, employees or employers. It's like, oh, once we finish up this month, then I'm going to do this thing that I need to do. I feel like a lot of the times, sometimes it actually is like justified. It's like, fuck it, dude. Maybe you never have to see this person again. You're like, fuck it, I don't have to do this. I can just like, let's just grin and bear it for the next couple days, and so will be gone, or they're transferring, or, there's always those kinds of things. But for the most part, I think I would, and I'm not a statistician or anything like that, but I would say probably 99.9% of the time when we're telling ourselves like, oh, I'm going to do this after this or after that, or whatever excuse, because really that's what it is it's an excuse to not do something, 99% of the time, it's like something that you could just fucking start working towards right now. And not only that, but it's like the same excuse that you're making, the so-and-so's birthday or the Thanksgiving dinner or the Christmas dinner or the Halloween or whatever it could be, there's always gonna be one of those things. Like, it's like, yeah, your friend's gonna have a birthday every single year. What are you gonna just fucking, if you make the excuse for, oh, it's just this one time, every single time, then it's not just this one time, right? Like, it's actually just like the majority of the time. And really, like, that kind of speaks for itself. And so I guess the message I'm trying to convey today is just like, look, like, stop fucking telling yourself. And I should say this as well as a preface, is like, this is a message for me as well. Like, I need to hear this just as much as anybody else. It's like, stop fucking telling yourself that you're going to get started next week, or you're going to get started next month, or you're going to get started after so-and-so's birthday, or you're going to get started after Thanksgiving dinner. You're going to get started after Christmas dinner. Stop telling yourself that shit. Because if you continuously say, oh, it's just this one time. Oh, it's just this one time. Well, then it's not. It's fucking every fucking time. And so it's like, what be honest with yourself. You know? Seriously, like just be honest with yourself. Is it just this one time, or could you just get started right now? And I think a lot of the time as well, when people hear the idea of like, why don't you just get started now? Like, let's just start it right now. You know, say you're like a person out there that works for a company and you want to make your own company. And people are like, dude, you got to fucking, burn the boats. John Autier said that on my podcast a while back when he came over and we recorded that podcast episode. He was talking about burning the boats. And it's like, some people do have that mentality of like, you could imagine a bunch of invaders getting to an island and you're like, they're burning their boats. It's basically saying like, there's no plan B. There's no other option. Like, that's it. We're going 2 feet, 10 toes in, fucking full bore, absolutely pedal to the metal. And for some people that looks like, hey, I'm going to just quit my job, take whatever cash I have right now and start a company and see where it gets me. But I think that for a lot of people, I think like even myself included, that would cause like a huge amount of anxiety. And obviously we grow from, discomfort. We grow from taking on, I guess, burdens or yokes, or we get the development from doing things that we haven't done before. Overcoming resistance that we haven't overcome before is like one of the ways to get stronger. But also one of the main principles to getting stronger is small, consistent, and well executed habits or behaviors. And so, yeah, obviously you're going to gain a fuck ton of muscle if you start lifting a fuck ton of weight, but that also comes with the risk of a fuck ton of injuries. Take it from somebody who fucking knows. But a smarter way to go about making progress, and now I understand I'm talking a little bit more about bro science and gym stuff rather than business or entrepreneurial stuff or anything like that, but I think that these principles kind of just transcend each other, I guess, or like they're universal, in the sense that super like what do they call it, a progressive overload, like a small incremental increase of progress consistently is going to in my personal opinion get you a lot longer lasting and more fulfilling, like soul enriching results. And the reason why is because you're not going to find yourself getting burnt out as easily. You probably still will, because that's a part of life, getting burnt out and kind of just like reacting to these raising and lowering like energy levels, motivation levels, etc. But also, I think that when we have these kind of like goals that are so massive and so kind of like for a lot of people, it's like, oh, it's just starting a business. Like, I started my business, and I fucking did this and I fucking did that. But for some people, it seems like a scary big deal. And honestly, personally, I believe it kind of is. It's kind of like it is a big deal. It's a huge contribution. It's one of the things that makes where we live so beautiful. The idea that you can just start a fucking business. You can just participate in the market if you'd like. And I think that that's kind of like one of the biggest fucking blessings that we still have. Knock on wood that we still get to keep that. But it's like, how do I say this? It's kind of like, if you were to just say, hey, maybe I don't have to quit my job and just like burn the boats, so to say, and just start my company and take it and risk it all. Maybe it's just about like, hey, I'm going to start to make the steps towards, like, are you a manager? Are you a supervisor? Have you led people before? Like, and maybe your employer could help teach you how to do those things. Have you spoken to your employer about that before? Is there things you still need to learn from your employer? Is there still things that you need to learn about your industry? Is there still things you need to learn about, yourself? Like, do you even want to do what you think you want to do? There's a lot of opportunity for us to be had. And I think that a lot of us are always consistently trying to move on from where we are without reaping all the benefits from where we've, been. Like, it's like kind of like harvest all the fruits of your labor before you fucking leave the field. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, I feel like a lot of people, they have their jobs, or they have, you can learn a lot about your job, your industry, your business just by working for somebody else. And to be honest, it provides an education with a lot less, risks, a lot more stability. And, if you're in the position of like, hey, I work for a company right now and I want to start my own company, progress towards starting your own company isn't just, oh, I'm going to quit my job and start a company. It could be like, hey, I'm going to start listening to business podcasts every single day. Hey, I'm going to start tucking away $50, $100 from every single paycheck and just start tucking it into another account so I can invest it into this company I want to start. Or, watching YouTube videos, taking on side jobs, taking on side projects on your weekend days. Like, most people, people are going to be like, oh, but so I'm going to have to work 40 hours a week, a full-time job, and then I'm going to have this like side company as well. It's like, yeah, most people that start a company, that start a project, have to do it while they're working full-time. And that's just another example of like, oh, once I have enough money and once I have enough time, I can get started. It's like, well, yeah, you could just sit there and wait for the time that you feel like all the fucking stars are going to be aligned, or you can start to fucking, swing your bat. Just get in the batting cage and swing the bat. Swing it as many times as you can so that when somebody throws a ball your way, you fucking crack it out of the park. Like, wouldn't it suck if somebody threw a ball your way and you didn't know how to swing a bat and you couldn't fucking hit the ball? And then that was the missed opportunity that you had. You're like, wow, that was my fucking opportunity to hit a home run, and I didn't practice. I didn't learn. I didn't develop. And I think we do the exact same thing. Like, I think that a lot of us, we kind of, we're waiting for an opportunity. We're waiting for a time. And we're like, when that happens, then I'll fucking execute. Then I'll start working towards my goals. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. It's not like you just like get the opportunity and then all this beautiful development comes and some guy just swoops you up off your feet, gives you some limitless pill, and you're like, oh, instantly fucking, I made it. Like, you got to go to some like weird Diddy parties for that shit to happen, Like, it's just, for most of us, that shit ain't gonna happen. What's actually gonna happen is you're gonna come across an opportunity. Somebody says, hey, are you able to do this? And if you've been practicing, you'll say, yeah, I'm able to do it. And someone's going to be willing to pay you for whatever that is. And that's how you get to start your company. Like, it's like you got to have something of value to give. And if you don't have a lot to start with, your value is going to be your effort. It's going to be your equity, like your sweat equity, because you don't really have much else. And that's kind of like, dude, that's what a lot of people like I see in the trades, and it is what it is. Is like, there's a lot of people out there that they got a fucking hammer and a drill and a level, and they've got a fucking set of wheels to get them from A to B, and those are the people that are the most valuable people, the people that can show up on time with a good attitude, work hard, and be curious and want to learn and want to develop, and are just there consistently, quietly working. If they're anything like me, maybe not quietly working, but consistently trying to perfect their craft so that when the time comes and they get the opportunity, they can fucking hit the nail on the head. And pun intended. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's so many reasons and excuses why we're not going to start on our resolutions or goals or expectations for ourselves. We're going to tell ourselves, Oh, I'm going to do it next week. Oh, I'm going to do it after this cheat meal. I'm going to do it after this vacation. I'm going to do it after so and so's birthday. I'm going to do it after Christmas dinner. I'm going to do it after this month. Oh, this month is a little bit of a write off because the first week I had this person's birthday. I had to do this. I had, this fucking thing came up. And, you can tell yourself excuses until you're blue in the face. Or you can break down your goal or your dream into little micro goals, micro dreams, little daily fucking actionable things that you can start to work on. So instead of saying like, oh, once I have like 100K in the bank and I have, 4 days available in my schedule in a row where I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning feeling the perfect amount of motivation, at that point, I think, I'll just hold my cup of coffee, empty outside. The Lord's going to come down and pour a little cup of Joe for me. He's going to say, how would you like it served up for you? And you're going to say, this is how I'd like it. And the stars will all align for you. If that's what you're waiting for, like, it ain't going to happen. It's kind of one of those things that you got to kind of get the ball rolling yourself. And for me, like, I make a joke about it and I say those types of things, but it's like, look, even if you believe in some sort of like a predestined plan of like, God's got a plan for me. The universe has a plan for me. My whatever, maybe you think that there's a plan for you. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But it's like you're going to expect that God's going to hold up his end of the bar. You're going to expect that, everyone else is going to hold up their end of the bargain. The universe is going to hold up its end of the bargain. And you're just going to do it maybe when you feel good about it, when you want to, or after your birthday dinner. It's like the stars aren't going to just align for us all. A lot of us are going to have to do our end of the work. We're going to have to, if you're a Full Metal Alchemist nerd, there has to be some sort of equivalent exchange. And so if you want to achieve whatever goals you have, whatever glory you're going to feel, whatever fulfillment you're going to have, the love you'll feel, the whatever it is, you're going to have to give an equivalent exchange. And, for a lot of us, that means quite a bit of effort. So you might as well start now, because time is going to go by anyways, and instead of kicking yourself in the ass for saying, I wish I started earlier, I wish I did this, I wish I did that, how about you just write those things down and then start to fucking live your life based on that moving forward today, right now. That's the best. I feel like that's the best kind of New Year's resolutions episode I've made up until now. I think they all kind of have a similar vibe, but hey, look, maybe it's just a refresher. Maybe it's just a reminder. We got literally 2 weeks left starting tomorrow in 2024, which sounds crazy. This is literally the last 2 weeks of the year. And there's a lot of shit coming up. Birthdays. Not just our Lord and Savior, but my grandmother's birthday as well. And, New Year's, we've got Christmas parties, we've got family fucking events. But maybe you do have something in the back of your head just itching away, just saying, I really wish I was doing this, or I really wish that. Maybe it's just something as simple as like, I wish I had more finances for Christmas gifts this year. What does that... if you were to actually want to make a change, what would that look like? Well, obviously having a little bit more tucked away for Christmas gifts. There you go. You can get started on that today. Take $2. Take fucking $50 from your paycheck. Take whatever small increment you could fucking live without and start giving that. Because I'll tell you right now, that 5-minute workout is going to turn to a 15-minute workout. It'll turn to a half an hour workout. It'll turn to a 45-minute workout. It'll turn to an hour workout until you're doing a 1 hour workout 5 times a week, whatever it could be. And sometimes it will be another 15-minute workout. And that's cool too, because, a 10-minute workout, a 15-minute workout, 20-minute workout, something like that. It's better than no workout. And the same thing is like, tucking away some money for your savings account. Your $2 contribution will become a $5 contribution. It'll become a $10 contribution to, maybe $100, couple $100, to the point where you're contributing, sums that you would never have believed. And then sometimes it'll just be the $5, but it's like, fuck, that's better than nothing. 1% is better than zero. And 1% every single day for 365 days is 365%, which is 100% of a full year. And so in a full year, you could be a full year closer to where you want to be. So that's my math lesson for you for today. On that note, I think it's a beautiful place to wrap this up. So thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, if you're brand new to this podcast, thank you for sticking through that. And feel free to share this with a friend, like, comment, subscribe, whatever. If you listen to this on a podcast platform, rate it 5 stars, leave a little review. Everything else, you know what to do. Much love. Peace out. Love you all. See you next Monday. Bye.